Welcome to Care Smarts 360 on Air, a home care podcast. I'm Erin Cal, Senior Sales Consultant at Care Smarts 360. Joining us is Ralph Laughton, the mastermind behind Heart, Body, and Mind Home Care, a national award-winning, tech-driven, person-centered powerhouse. Ralph isn't just leading a home care agency, he's redefining what excellence looks like in private duty care. Under his leadership, his agency has landed in the top 100 for service quality 2 years running and become the first private duty agency to earn the Memory Care Seal of Excellence from the NCCDP. He's a strategist, an innovator, and a published thought leader. His insights recently graced the pages of HCAF's Florida at Home Journal. But today, he's here to reveal what you don't know about scaling your agency, the blind spots, the breakthroughs, and the battle-tested strategies. So grab your notepad because Ralph is about to drop some serious home care wisdom. Let's dive in. Welcome to the podcast, Ralph.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for having me on the podcast, first of all, and for those very kind words. I truly appreciate your comments and introduction.
Of course. So we'll jump right into it. First question for you. What are some hidden pitfalls or unexpected challenges home care agency owners face when trying to scale effectively?
Yeah, there are several. I think that one, first of all, you need to have a strategy. That may sound obvious, but it is about looking at internally at what your capabilities are, what your staff makeup is, what their individual abilities are they capable in their job responsibilities to get you where you need to be. So it's really analyzing your organization and then putting together, creating a big vision of where you want to be, and then putting together a plan to get you there. So one of the pitfalls, I would say, is attempting to grow rapidly without adequate resources. That could be in the structure of your staff. That could be financial. For example, 1 year, 3 years ago, we grew at over 39%. The year after that, we grew at something like 45, 47%. This year, we're up 53%. What that can cause is that your payroll costs can outrun your receivables. In other words, every week or every few weeks, you can be paying more in payroll or almost as much in payroll as what you have coming in from billing the prior few weeks ago because you're growing so rapidly. So cash management may be, after looking at your staff, cash management may be the biggest pitfall, outrunning your cash flow.
Absolutely. And how do AI and technology play a role in scaling a home care agency while maintaining the quality of care?
So I think that AI can play several important key factors in developing your growth strategy, but maybe not the way people think. So one way that we've used AI is in our social determinants of health, in tracking our falls. And by doing that, we can, when we go to our referral sources or talk about Heart, Body, and Mind Home Care, we can speak authoritatively about the quality of our service, how we can prevent readmissions or minimize readmissions compared to the industry standards. So it's about having software, perhaps like with CareSmart, that can track that information for you. Social determinants of health, for example, we use that information. We're a VA provider. We can determine which of our clients may be at risk of hospitalization. And so we can take that data, print it out on a PDF, and with our local Veterans Administration, we can go to them and say, hey, for these veterans, we are recommending additional hours. Here's why. And that is a use of AI that folks might not immediately think of. It's not as sexy, but it's practical in helping us build the hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And what strategies can agency owners implement to ensure that rapid growth doesn't dilute their care standards or company culture?
We'll go back to looking at what your staff is and hiring in advance of your growth. That I think is a key, well, let's call that one of the potential pitfalls. Running real fast, growing rapidly. I root for everyone's success who does that, but be sure that you think through what staff you need in order to manage that growth and still have quality care. So one thing that has been important for us, Aaron, is and a differentiator that has been intentional was having excellent service. And we did that before we engaged Home Care Pulse, now Activated Insights. So that was, 3 years ago. We said we want to make sure that we live, by our, or let's say by our word, our reputation. Service is our passion, excellence is our promise, and we engaged Activated Insights to measure our quality. Well, we won top 100 the year after that. We won top 100. But to do that, we had to have the resources, so caregivers, training, in-field or field supervision to make sure that we were providing very good care at that level, to our clients.
Right. And what compliance or legal considerations should agencies be aware of when scaling in Florida's home care market?
Well, compliance, legal considerations are probably just about the capability. So Florida is a highly regulated state for private duty home care. Unlike many others, we're highly regulated. And in the 9.5 years we've been in operation here in Florida, we've never had a single deficiency through surveys by the state regulator. And they are strict. We've never had a single deficiency. So with respect to compliance, rapid growth can cause strain in an organization. For all of the reasons we might suspect. You have caregivers who don't meet expectations. You may have clients or family dynamics that cause issues and, and service failures, etc. If you are hiring a lot of new care providers to service the new growth, well, then processes can fail. If you have new staff that you're hiring, that affects culture and processes. So as you grow, you have to think through, again, going to your capability and hire in advance of your growth, or at least be very cognizant as you're growing the stresses and strains in your office, so that you do what's necessary to still maintain the regulatory standards. So we just had, a agency for healthcare survey back in November. Sometimes they can be 2 days. They are certainly always all day. Two surveyors came in. They come in unannounced and they're looking for problems. And I have to say that, again, we had no deficiencies. We were fairly confident that we would be pretty good, but you don't know if something's going to be found. But we make the investment internally to remain compliant, and we audit our files, but we make sure we have that resource inside to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And last question for you, Ralph. With the industry evolving rapidly, what key trends or challenges do you foresee shaping home care in 2025? And how should agency owners prepare for that?
Well, of course, we're all aware that the population is growing rapidly of seniors. In fact, I know that there's a stat out there that's interesting. Maybe it's around 2034, 2035, the population of seniors age 65 and older will, for the first time in our country, be greater than the population of children. So we're aging rapidly, and that also would mean that the workforce is going to be pretty small. I would say opportunities to take advantage of that would be looking at expanding your range of services. So maybe diversifying your services, maybe adding additional conditions. We specialize in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as well as complex conditions. Well, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, of course, fairly prevalent right now, but also the clients who have that condition typically have that condition for many years. And around the, say with Alzheimer's, about 7 years is when home care is likely going to be needed. And so that's about the length of service of clients who have certain conditions. You can look at that, we do. You can also take a look at adding additional payer sources. So we're a big VA provider in our area. It's private pay equivalent. Others may consider Medicaid waiver. We're not a waiver provider, but in some states, waiver pays pretty well. You can consider in some jurisdictions adding persons with disabilities. That's similar to Medicaid waiver, and that would be a specialization. So take a look at payer sources, different payer sources like that to diversify your payer sources, increase your revenue, increase your profit so that you can make the investments you need to make in order to continue growing.
That's really helpful. Thank you so much, Ralph, for sharing your expertise. And to our lovely audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Erin Cal, signing off.
Thank you, Erin.